Hello and welcome to Hank Games Without Hank, where I am the manager of the Swoodilypoopers, the greatest soccer club in all of the N-Power Championship. Hopefully, we shall see at the end of the season. Just got an interesting memo from Green Eggs and Foderingham saying he's not as convinced that he wants to leave the club as he was earlier in the season. I guess because I showed him what life is when he's sitting on the bench and Lovegood Bedwell is starting. Scott McBeanie is our referee. He's notoriously unfair. Oh my God, we're playing a hussy. And he who shall not be named is serving as our captain today. So I'm going to talk today about whether human nature is good or bad. You know, we can put a man on the moon, but we still cannot create visually convincing handshakes. As you can see, we are currently in 5th, but we are only 4 points out of 1st. This is the kind of game that we have to win against Coventry City. 5th place is good enough for the playoffs. Those of you who don't know, I'm going to briefly explain how this works. The first 2 teams who finish the N-Power Championship have a 100% chance of going to the Premier League. The next 4 teams go to something called the playoffs, a series of 4 games. The 4 teams, 2 of them play each other, the other 2 play each other, and then the winners of those 2 games then proceed to the final at Wembley, and the winner of that goes to the Premier League. So if you're anywhere between 3rd and 6th, you're kind of okay as long as you can win both those games. I don't want to do that, though. I just want to get what is called automatic promotion by finishing 1st or 2nd. So that's our goal for the season. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. We're fast enough. Oh, no! Green eggs and frick burgers! Elliot. The visible sign of the invisible light. As T.S. Eliot once called light. Should have signed to him instead of Wordsworth. Okay. Is human nature good? Well, I'm less inclined to think it is than I was a minute ago when it was tied. I'm going to go to attacking, and we are going to find a way to win this game. This is exactly the kind of game we have to win. We've got to be able to come from behind and prove our mettle. Is human nature good? No. I think it's pretty... Anyone who's had an infant doesn't think like humans are naturally good. They may be naturally innocent, but I don't think they're naturally good in the sense of, like, I don't think they're able to, like, really care for others. We're not born empathic. We're not born altruistic. I mean, there may be altruistic elements, but I definitely don't think... Like, it wouldn't meet my definition of altruism. Like, seeing my son, he's beautiful lad, and I love him very much, but I don't think that he's yet developed like the capacity for empathy that you look for in adulthood. Nor, by the way, do I think anyone else who's 3 years old has. But yeah, I've always found that very unconvincing when people are like, oh, like, you know, babies know all the secrets of the world. I'm like, do you know anything? Have you ever hung out with a baby? Like, they can't do crap. They actually can do crap. It's the #1 thing they can do. But there's a lot that they can't do, and there's a lot of sort of feeling that they can't feel. As you know, if you're a long-time watcher of the Swoodilypoopers, I'm a believer that most things in life that seem like events are actually processes, and I think the same thing is true of being a person. I don't think a person is something that you are, you know, at the moment. I don't think it's as simple as saying, like, I am a person at the moment of conception, or I'm a person at this moment. Oh, obviously I wanted you to pass to Merrick. At this moment or that moment, I think it's a matter of, like, a complicated process of becoming a person, which you do really over the course of a lifetime, and that, you know, it's something that, yeah. So I think, I don't think people are inherently good, but I definitely think that they are capable of astonishing good, and astonishing, like, compassion and support for each other, and generosity, and that's what I like so much about people. There's a great subreddit, for those of you who are on the Reddits. There's a great subreddit called Respect Porn, Respect Porn. I subscribe to several porn Reddits, none of which are actually pornography. There's Earth Porn, which is just like amazing pictures of our planet. Then there's Respect Porn, which is kind of mostly athletes, but also sometimes other people showing, like, unusual, uncommon fair play. And then there's but there's a bunch of them. Anyway, I like that subreddit because it's constantly reminding me how generous and nice and good people can be, even as, of course, they can also be hideous and horrible to each other. And I think so. I think that it's not so much a matter of what humans are inherently, which I don't think is ultimately that interesting of a question. I think it's like what the Buddhists would call a question wrongly asked. Oh, yes! Oh, there's a question wrongly asked. Oh, how do you like them apples? That was more of a question rightly asked. I wasn't ready. Wasn't ready to score in that situation. Let me redo it. More like a question wrongly asked, as the Buddhists would say it. Oh, there's a question rightly asked. That's what I meant to do. All right. So it's 1-1, and we got the whole second half to find a goal to become the winners of the game and to beat Coventry City, and to hopefully move a little bit higher up in the championship standings here, so that we can become a Premier League club and then continue on the path to glory. I will remind you, we are also still involved. Oh, that's a foul! I was taken down in the box. I was taken down like a coward, sir. Scott McBeanie. That's a terrible decision. Who's their ginger? I want to know you, sir. I want all the gingers. So, it's just not good defense. We've got our ginger center backs in. Usually they're a little bit better organized than that. Yeah. So, but I don't think that it's a question of whether humans are inherently good or inherently evil, because I don't think it's really that simple. I think that they are. It's more of what we're capable of than it is what we are inherently. I don't believe we're really much of anything inherently. There's obviously some things that we're predisposed to doing, but we don't do a lot of the things that we're predisposed to doing, and we also can kind of learn to do things that maybe wouldn't be so natural for us. That's kind of what's cool about people to me. So that's what I like about. Geez Louise, that was a great opportunity, sir. That's what I like about human beings. It's also what I like about other higher mammals, is that capacity for learning and change and moral decision making. So I guess I'm saying that I don't think that we're either good or bad intrinsically, but that we are capable of both astonishing good and astonishing bad. And if we'd had a guy at the top of the key there, or whatever it's called, top of the 18-yard box, we would have had a goal. But we didn't, because we are not as organized an offensive team as I would like us to be. We've been working on that in practice. I've been talking a lot to the guys about movement and the importance of understanding space and passing lanes. And I think it all boils down to me not being very good at it, and that makes them sort of inherently less good at it too. I mean, other John Green is just a beast. Oh, I mean, to be fair though, that was beastly. Probably should have gone near post on that. Probably should have double tapped the X button. But there's skill levels, and then there's skill levels, and all I can do basically is the occasional unnecessary slide tackle. But I'm interested to know what you think in comments. I mean, I know that this is. Oh, D McGoldrielux just came off. Now we can win. I know this is kind of a complicated question, and that a lot of it also depends on your definitions of good and your definitions of inherent and that kind of stuff. So I don't mean to be dismissive of the question or anything, because I know it's extremely complicated and interesting, and lots of it's the subject of quite a lot of philosophy, and you can dig yourself pretty far down into Nietzsche, who's a lot smarter than I ever will be, and he's still interested in that stuff. So I don't want to sound like it's not interesting. I just find what I find personally interesting is the kind of the quality and of the decisions we make, and how we decide whether those decisions are moral or not. Yikes! That could have just as easily gone in the goal. I feel like we might be tired and or suffering. The problem is whoa, Bostock. He's been hustling. Mr. Bean doesn't have a lot of skill, but he's been playing with a lot of courage, which, as you know, I'm a big supporter of. And then I got to leave in Merrick because he's a scorer for now, and I just can't take off Leroy Williamson. I guess I could put. I'm not ready to do that. I don't have a ton of confidence right now in either Collins or Andy Rooney. Neither of them has scored with any consistency all season long. They just haven't proven to be finishers yet. And you guys have seen me try, but we aren't. I'm not seeing it right now. And when you aren't seeing it, there's a big part of you that just thinks like, well, let's go with the devil we know instead of the devil we don't, and that leads to conservative decision making in terms of my substitutions, which in turn leads to fewer goals, and it's an absolute nightmare. Oh, that's my ball, please. Thank you. Thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and go long because I'm no dummy. Remember when we had Ball John Green and we would just get all these because he's like 6'6", but we don't have him anymore. We can't talk about the past. Oh, can't repeat the past? Why, of course you can. Go. Not where I would have necessarily taken it, but interesting decision. I liked how he reached for it. I liked how he showed the courage of his convictions, at least. There's a good ball. That's another good ball. And then maybe to other John Green, and then shoot! Other John Green! Oh! It's not the finisher he once was. You got to say it. He's looking a little older these days. No, that's what does it take? What does it take? You gonna tell me that he got the ball? I think we all saw him go knee to knee. You guys call me for penalties all the time for stuff that's far less serious than that, and then okay, he's offside. All right, maybe is it time to bring on 88 minutes? Is it Andy Rooney time? I mean, these guys are exhausted. Andy Rooney is a finisher. I think it's time. I'm gonna leave in Merrick because I'm out of substitutions. Well, we can do this. We can do this, guys. This is a winnable game. We got Peter Ginger Rampage behind the ball. Sorry, I almost used his real name. Oh, terrible decision. Now they're just going to kill time because a point means everything to them and nothing to us. Time wasters! Little stinking cheaters. Come on, we got to get the ball one time. One attack. One attack. That's all I ask. There you go. We're going to have our one attack. It's going to happen. Oh, it's over the goal. Oh, the frustration is palpable. Full time. Let me just absolutely make sure that this is a League One game, not the Capital One Cup. Yep, the game's over. Schmoog. Berg. Sorry, we're going to get there someday. Thanks for watching. Thank you for your continued support. Of the best wishes.